morning. Today is day 106 of moving mountains beneath my feet. We are at 128 days speeding through the solar system on our journey around the sun. And there's 237 days left in the year. And I finally counted the episodes. We are at episode 62. And so it's been a little while. I'm ready to get back into the swing of things, back into my routine, back into doing this talk. But at the same time, I've had to take a break. I've had to step back and allow myself to listen and feel and be with myself and be within my own thoughts and emotions. And what I want to talk about today is how the work that you do not only affects you, but can affect another and help another to heal. And so I'm going to use the example of, the work that I've been doing within myself, within healing my own attachment issues, working on the anxious attachment style and doing all that deep soul searching around how to heal those wounds within myself so that I show up differently in my relationship to my partner. And how, I've been doing this work for a long time. And a lot of it, it goes unnoticed. Like it's noticed, but then it can go unnoticed. And I don't know how to quite communicate it, but what I'm trying to get at is recently me and my partner have kind of had like this breakthrough in feeling like our hearts are cracked open. And it was actually her who had this experience first for some days of just having this different energy, having this different like open feeling versus a closed feeling. And it was a few days later that then I also did. And it dawned on me, right? It dawned on me that all of this work that I've been doing has been changing me and has been helping me to show up differently. That has given her the safety, the space to then be more open and to open up. But also it came on the ends of being able to speak up and speak your truth, right? So for me, having certain needs or desires and things, a lot of times my attachment style and will keep those things in and won't speak them, right? And that just sits, that's closed, right? That's a closed way of being. And the similar is true, right? Where the other dynamic in the relationship would kind of be closed off towards intimacy, would lean away from it or want to get away from that closeness. And it's hard to explain this feeling, and so I'm gonna have to explore this over some weeks and days and episodes, but it definitely feels different when your heart feels like cracked open. I don't know how to describe it other than I have this calm, and I have a physical sensation. But there's joy and there's lightness. There's this weight that has been lifted out of my body, out of my chest, that I can accept things and accept, in this instance, who my partner is for who she is and how she is. And that gives her the space and the safety to accept me and to be open to this big love that we have together. And this applies to other areas of life, right? It's like I'm seeing that I was stuck, that I felt stuck for a very long time in my life, even before, the starting of this podcast. There's certain parts of my life that have felt stuck and stagnant. And, I've tried all kinds of things. I've looked at all different parts of my life, but now I'm coming to realize that it was my heart that was closed to receiving. There's a part of it right? And so now I feel this sense of ease that things will just come to me, that I don't have this overwhelming pressure to like perform, to like grasp at, to like grab and make something happen, that my power is inside of me. And I really feel like I'm doing a disservice to the bigness of what I'm trying to describe. But again, I don't plan these talks. I'm just talking and walking and sharing, and I don't have my thoughts collected fully on what I'm trying to describe here. But the thing is, when you keep like running into the same issues, when you feel stuck in your life, you're trying all kinds of different things, I'm realizing that the work that you're doing may be having an effect, but it's underneath the surface for a period of time. And then all of a sudden, all that work that you've been doing shows up. And that's really hard to do because you're like, hey, I'm trying really freaking hard and I don't see anything changing, you know? And we want to see this immediate change. But some of these things take time to change, especially when you're talking about long-standing, long-term patterns in your life, ways of being and thinking and feeling. Those things take time. And so if you're in the midst of this, and I know it's easy to feel stuck and like stagnant, and then from that place, it's very hard to, you keep going through the motions. So many people go through the motions and they just keep going and they don't look up for a year and they realize like, yo, did I really go anywhere? And I think the last episode I did kind of prompted that in me to really examine. It's like, hey, we're this far into the year. We're a third of the way through the year. Excuse me. What have you accomplished and what do you want to accomplish? And then I had to look at that. I had to examine like, yo, what did you create in the first third of the year? And what do you want to create? And this leads back to the other part of my realization is in being closed and having my heart closed to receiving the things that I truly wanted. At the source, at the core of that was a few things. Fear of disappointment, of not being able to get those things, fear of disappointment, of wanting these things and not attaining them, not getting them. That energy holds you away from what you want. And the other point I wanted to make, I've already lost, so I'm gonna let it go, it'll come back to me. Worthiness, right? It's like still that underlying, are you worthy of the things that you want? Even if you could say in practice, I am worthy, I know I'm worthy, I know I'm good enough. Do you really, really, really feel that way, right? Because if you don't, that's what you're gonna get. How you feel about you. That's how you're gonna act, right? And so I've also had to examine way more about how I felt about me. And this whole new feeling of big love, of this cracked open heart, is something I'm looking forward to kind of diving in and exploring more and feeling into and understanding it more. But definitely, it was the day after me and my partner had a really deep and vulnerable and honest conversation about things, and something switched, something changed inside. I woke up the next day with just this lightness and this openness inside, this physical sensation that I can tap into, even though, like, for example, today I woke up and I have issues and worries and things that I have to deal with and come up with, and need to make some money and do this, and I gotta go do that, and there's a million things to do. And I could choose that energy, right, for the day, or I can sit still for a second. It literally only took a second for me to sit still and feel that feeling that I feel, that big love feeling, that open heart feeling, and I could choose that. And for me, that's huge because, excuse me, typically, in that mode, I can spiral into the negative loop, and I didn't have that sensation, that open feeling that I could tap into, or I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't tuned into it. And so in being able to choose that, I just let all that other shit go. So, well, I'm gonna go do my routine. I'm gonna go be open to what life has for me today. And I'm not gonna worry about this other shit. I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna focus on any of the solutions I can, but I'm not gonna put pressure on myself. I'm not gonna choose that route because I know what that route gets me. And so I'm over, and I don't even care. I'm gonna talk for as long as I kind of feel I have something to say, but I'm getting close. Living with an open heart is so much different, and I can't even tell you how different it is because it feels like it's only been a few days to where my heart has been truly opened. It sounds silly, right? Like, I know that people listening to this won't think it's silly, but if you think about what does that mean, like physically, physiologically or whatever, I really just think it means that you're open to more possibilities and you're not closed off. You're not guarding your heart. You're not guarding yourself from these things that you completely fear all the time. Anyway, I think this is what I have for today. Wonder if you can hear that falcon above. It sounds pretty cool, flying above me. I think that's what I have for today, and I'm getting to the tough part of the hike. I don't feel like huffing and puffing the whole time. So I am going to continue doing this with the caveat of doing it when I feel inspired to. I'm not going to live from a place of obligation and pressure. Right? Yes, I want to be consistent. Yes, I want to continue to do the things that are important to me. But I also don't want to live with that pressure of, what are you going to say today? Oh, you didn't do it today. All that talk. It's contrary to what I'm trying to do. And I don't think it gives me a good place from which to share. And so, yes, like I said, I'm going to continue this, and I really appreciate everyone who listens and shares with me how I've impacted you, or how a message has impacted you. And I hope to be able to share more from a more open heart. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful day. Wow, this falcon's beautiful, floating above me. Blessings.